Um, Under 19, it's an information discussion item on strategic plan report. And superintendent, I'm wondering if, I don't, I know there's preparation in this, but is this something that we can package? I mean, it's in our backups. Is this something that we can package and send out? I'm just looking at the interest of time. Um, what?
Yeah, yes, Chair Huntsman. This is one of those reports that we used to be called on by the legislature via statute to be present at a meeting and provide oral reports. And a number of years ago, many of those were put to a list that they can just be sent to the legislature. And this is one of those reports that a piece of legislation required this report. I think it was either last year or year before. Tiffany can clarify that for us. So it is an information item just so that you know and you're aware as a board that we will be sending this to the legislature next week. And we hate to not get this in front of you. So it's very easily one of those that can just be sent directly. You have it in backup, and we can also send the slide deck and the report so it's easily accessible at any time. So I'll turn it back to you to make that determination.
Okay, instead of going through the report, because people have had access, I want to ask board members, do you have any questions or concerns on these slides? That will save us a little bit of time, because we and others that can see this absolutely can read and go through the slide deck. So I think I'll go to that point, because I'm not sure if board members had specific questions or concerns. And I'm seeing one hand up. Board member Earl.
Are you wanting recommendations where this is an information item? Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, the question is, do you have any questions or concerns about what's in this? We're not making motions, but if you have questions or something, this is a good time to bring it out.
Sure, that's why I was asking though, if you're sending it on and then you're asking for any input, that's why I was trying to get clarification.
Just getting input on what you see. This is a report of USBE operational actions that has been taking place, and they'll see this. So,
and if I may, Chair Huntsman, there are very specific things that they asked for in the report. And so that's what you'll see in the compilation of the update, the implementation update. Mm-hmm. So it's very targeted and purposeful according to what was asked for. And then in the slide deck, we just added some background information.
Okay, I guess I had a question on a number of the numbers that are listed in there. In that, this is the question. The numbers listed don't always tell us exactly why, right? That requires further in-depth research. And would you say that's accurate or not accurate?
Do you have a specific page that you want to refer to?
Well, a lot of the, well, yeah, for example, I don't have it up in front of me. I could try to pull it back up. Is there, I don't know if there's anyone else that has another question or anything. Give me just a second.
And if I may, sir, I'll just answer. We had a question in the chat from board member-elect Molly Hart, and we will send this out to both our current board and incoming board members so that you're not waiting through the 1,800 pages to find it. The report itself is about 64 pages, and then the slide deck. And I would invite the incoming board members to contact me, and I can walk through it, or Tiffany Stanley, either one of us. But go ahead, board member Earl, did you find what you needed?
Sorry, yeah. I had to get back through. Actually, I can send my question or comment on. It may take me a minute to get to the location I'm looking for, so I don't want to take more time here. I talked to Tiffany Stanley actually just a little bit about some of my questions I had with it, so she's kind of familiar, but I will, I'll send that on. I apologize. I should have had that pulled right up and I was looking at something else. So.
Okay, board member Cannon's got her hand up. If you find it while we're still on this item, let us know. Board member Cannon.
I would just like to make a comment, and as I went through those 64 pages, I'd like to just compliment our superintendent and our staff for working with us on this strategic plan. I think a lot of the things that they are working towards and have targeted for improvement are spot on in terms of where we need to be and what we need to be working for. And I think they're very ambitious goals, and we are making progress towards a lot of them. There are some of them that we're having a harder time with, but we've set ourselves some high benchmarks. And that's what I like to see us do. And I love to see us reaching towards those targeted goals. And I think it's really important that we as a board have a strategic plan. I think our 4 primary areas are all essential. And I was really looking forward to going through all this, but I understand the time issue. I just want to let the staff know that I think they've done very well. And I love the idea of strategic planning and hope we can continue to have this on an agenda.
Board Member Earl?
Yes. So, okay, let me give you an example. So on page, I guess this is more in the framing, right? So on page 14, and I'm just going to give you an example at the first here, our English proficiency. So 20.2%, if I'm understanding this right, that's our success, right? Is the 20.2%. They're meeting the criteria. Is that an accurate statement? And so with that in mind, that's finding out why these areas are successful instead of the 80% that are still working towards that, but really honing in on where we are seeing the great improvements in these areas. So we know these are the successful examples going on. I just know, like up at Logan School District, this year they're implementing a couple of things with their English learners that are helping to further the use of their verbal dialogue up there in this particular area. And some of the strategies they're using will benefit all the students in this area, but they found that there's particular pieces that are highly successful versus other practices. So I guess that's just one example, but I'd love for us to point out where the successes are and to find those pockets of success and hone in on those. So that, I don't know, that's probably a broad comment, but does that make sense?
Yes, thank you so much, Board Member Earl, for that clarification. I think some good examples of where we're doing that. We reported to you and highlighted some schools that we're doing amazing work with language acquisition with our students who are learning English. We've done the same with mathematics in 8th grade with our students with disabilities. And so hitting some of those high points and bringing that to you. And then I think other board members have brought this up in the past as well, that having a place as we engage in a new web redesign, we're really thinking about a place where we can highlight those best practices so that they're easy to find and very visible to the public. So thank you for that. We're on the same page with you and appreciate it.
I know again, there's a lot of work in this, but we would 60 something slides, 60 something minutes, possibly as we get into discussion and other things. And this is again in response to, I mean, it's good work and it's good that we have, and we certainly can glean more of it out of this maybe in our future meetings of pull pieces of this out. But I'm just looking at the clock and we still have quite a bit of work to do. So
yeah.
I
Sir,
don't want to shortchange you.
No, if there aren't any other comments, I think I'd just like to make a summary statement and then make sure that Tiffany has time to comment if she'd like to. But I want to highlight 2 things. One is Board Member Cannon's comment about the important work of a strategic plan. Having been at the state board now for almost a decade, I can tell you that we did a lot of great work, but I always felt a little rudderless as an employee, just responding instead of being proactive and leading. And I feel like having a strategic plan to Board Member Cannon's point, and then I am so, so proud to see that Board Member Lair is a convert to strategic, to our strategic plan. Thank you, Board Member Lair, because I think you're spot on that as staff, it allows us to always have something to not just to fall back to, but to lead out with, to say, our board believes early learning is important because, and therefore develop theories of action and strategies around that, or our board believes in excellent teaching and leading because. So having these goals and a theory of action and strategies really does help us help legislators, local policymakers, looking at resources, all of those things can be tied back to this strategic plan. So it's not just a document that's nice to have. In my opinion, it's essential to have for the board so that we can lead out with high leverage goals and strategies that we know will make a difference for outcomes for students. So I am so appreciative of you as a board being willing to engage in this. And then just also a little postscript that 2022 is coming up quickly. And so our new board members and current board members will have an opportunity to revisit some of the numbers and the metrics that we've set for ourselves and revisit that a bit. And with that, I'll just see if Tiffany wants to add anything as we send this up to the Hill to the legislature.
Tiffany?
No, just thank you. And I'll just echo a couple of things that Superintendent Dixon mentioned. I mean, the strategic plan really, it's not just a document, it's what drives our work. And I just want to give a shout out to staff. As you look at the progress update, you'll see so much great activity and progress being made and progress upcoming. And staff really, deserve all the credit in the world for driving that progress and improvement. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions or comments. Board Member Earl, your hand's still up. Was that from before or? So I do see the opportunity. This is not going away, and I see opportunity for the new board members to comment and get very familiar with the strategic plan, the way that it's put together now with our goals and objectives. And so this isn't going away. So the data and everything in the slides are still going to be part of future conversations. So I apologize that we're not going to go through every single slide today, but because of the interest of time. So thank you. Let's just make sure this gets out.